Hello, hello, hello. This is Raymond Aaron, New York Times top 10 bestselling author, and I have something so exciting to tell you. I have as a guest the number one most famous relationship coach in the entire world, the author of the most unbelievably popular, exciting, and powerful and educational book and book series, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And here he is, my dear friend, the genius guru of relationship, Dr. John Gray. So, John,
So good to see you, Raymond. It's a pleasure to be with you.
oh my gosh, it's such an honor. You are such a big name, and yet we're dear friends. I love it. I love it beyond what I can explain to you. I'm so, so happy. And you have said something really interesting. You said that as a result of the lockdown, where people in relationships are like confined to be like within 10 feet of each other for months, there's either going to be a race to maternity wards or a race to divorce courts.
You're right. That's really nicely said. One of my daughters is so happy with this COVID thing because she's at home with her husband. He works out of the house. He has a job still. He can work the computer. And the children can't go to school, so they're with their parents. And she's at that age where 14, where normally she'd be like with all her girlfriends and ignoring her mom. And the son is like 12, and normally he'd be out playing football and everything. Now they all play games at their house. They're such a good family. So they're growing closer together. Not everybody has that benefit. And they also have the good communication skills, which if people don't have those good communication skills, it can be so hard on their relationships to spend so much time together.
Yes, they don't know what to do. So what they do is they get mad, they get angry, they get upset. And you are the guru of relationship. And I am so honored. Not only are we sharing this time together, but in just a few days, you and Brian Tracy, the king of the psychology of success, and Laurel Langmeyer, who like you is the star of The Secret, are going to be my guests at Mastery of Greatness. Mastery of Greatness. Can you imagine all these superstars together? They've never been together before. They're never going to be together again. But because I know so many powerful people, I can bring them together for you. masteryofgreatness.com, and Dr. John Gray himself will be the special guest. I'm so honored. What will you be teaching there?
Well, what I'll be talking about, well, certainly relevancy in terms of in our relationships, how to make sure things don't escalate. And if they do escalate, how to realize that that's not our partner's true colors. You know, we often think when your partner says, I don't know if I loved you anyway, why don't we get a divorce? You're never happy. You know, this is the worst side of people. And it comes out when we're in stress mode. When we have a cortisol response, blood flow stops to the front part of the brain and goes into our conditioned responses. And literally to think that that's your partner's truth, it's not the truth. It's who they become when they're out of balance. You wouldn't say to your partner, if they're in a wheelchair, if you love me, you'll stand up and walk. You know, there's a limitation to us right now. Think about when you're single and you date a woman. Well, you know, suddenly you've been alone for so long. Now you're dating her. All these hormones get produced and you feel great. But you need that time alone as well. You know, relationship is time together and time apart. And particularly now, it's hard to get that time apart. Think about the dynamic of vitamins. We all know we need vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F. These are all important vitamins. Let's say you've got a life, so you've got all your love vitamins, but you're missing one, vitamin D, which is your partner, romance. So in nature, the sunshine produces vitamin D. So if you've got all your other vitamins, but you're not feeling great, you're just feeling good, and you go out and the sun is shining, you feel great. You go, wow, I'm on top of the world. You know, I feel that way right now because we haven't had much sunshine for a while because of all the fires in California. And now we got blue skies, sunshine, and I feel on top of the world because I also have all my other vitamins, so to speak. Well, normally in life, we're out with friends, we're interacting, we're being challenged by life. These are all different vitamins, what's called having a life, not dependent on your partner to be happy. And what happens is we don't have a life. We become over dependent on them, which means that we become dissatisfied with them. Because, you know, you can eat food, but if you eat too much, it's not good. So we will learn how during this time and any time in a relationship, how to spark the passion again, how to create harmony, how to minimize arguments, how to communicate in a way that brings us closer together rather than further apart. And to understand how to do that, I have practical skills, insights that most people have never thought about because they didn't understand how men and women think differently, how we respond to situations differently, how to warm up a woman's heart, how to open a man's heart. These are the things that we will learn, the little things that don't require a major overhaul. We generally don't need a major overhaul, particularly if we fell in love once. We're pretty much okay. Let's learn how to bring that back, bringing back the connection, the attraction, the aliveness in a relationship. And a lot of it has to do with learning what we need to do for ourselves. Just like a success coach will teach you, if you want to be more successful, what changes do you have to make within yourself? Well, when it comes to relationships, it's not about how to change your partner. It's about how to change yourself. And ultimately, then you'll get the success and you'll get more from your partner.
What I love is not a story, but an exercise that you told me once, because I really love you and I love that we have a sweet, warm relationship. And recently when we were chatting, you taught me an exercise to do, which takes 20 minutes at night, like when the kids are asleep and it's all quiet. And it is the most darling, cherishing, like heart opening. I've never heard of something. Please tell that.
It's so much fun. I'm so glad you're doing it. Oh, it's so great. You know, you're an example of someone you're committed to growth. You know, and some of us, as we get older, we lose wisdom, others gain wisdom, that we can always grow and learn new things. And I just love you for that. And that I share this exercise to do a game, and you're trying it and you're loving it, just like I love it. And the people who do it are telling me they love it. So let's just take a pause for a moment. So this is one thing we can do in our relationships. I call it a genie in the bottle game. So it's a game, genie in the bottle. Now, see, ultimately, if you know my message, and if men, in order to have their best self come out, they need to make 10 times or even 20 times more testosterone than a woman. And whenever a man does something and he's successful in providing support to someone he loves, his testosterone will go up. Okay, so that's for men. Their stress levels go down. And for women, this is what most women don't know, is when a woman is happy, her estrogen levels are 10 times higher than a man's. And when she's feeling in love, her estrogen levels double. Okay, so now it's 20 times higher than a man's. These are biological differences. And we do our longer talk, we'll learn a variety of things that men can do on their own without depending on their partner to bump up those testosterone levels, to open their heart. And women will learn how they can use their relationship and their life, even if they're in isolation, how to increase estrogen levels to lower her stress levels. But the game is so amazing. And I invented it during this time because it was like, I'm not feeling the same aliveness until I did this game. So it's how to bump up the man's testosterone and the woman's estrogen. So the research shows that when a woman feels safe, that she can ask for help and get it, no matter how big or little, if a man is willing to do something for her with no resistance, she has a surge of estrogen. And it doesn't matter how big the thing is, it's how many of those things that causes estrogen levels to rise. Now, that's one of the classic Mars-Venus insights, which is if a woman is happy, you can bring her 50 roses and she'll become happier, or one rose and she'll still become happier. Little things make a difference when women have plenty of estrogen. But if they don't have estrogen, very low estrogen, you can give her 50 roses, too little, too late. Or one rose, too little, too late, not enough. So it's literally every rose, though, what build that estrogen a little bit more, a little bit more. So the point here is little things in a continuous manner help boost estrogen levels in women. And as women have more estrogen, they feel more responsive, happier, appreciative. That raises his testosterone because he did something to provide for her and she responded. So genie in the bottle is he's your superhero. He's your genie. And everything he's only going to say is as you wish, with a smile on his face. And what she's going to do is she can't do anything for herself. For 20 minutes, she's powerless. Oh my God, women today, powerless. We're strong women. No, you're forced in this for 20 minutes, you can't do anything for yourself. If you want to eat, he has to get your food out of the refrigerator. You have to tell him exactly what you'd like. John, would you do this for me? He'll bring it, he'll cook it, he'll provide it for you, he'll feed you. Would you now give me a bite of this? Or would you clean up the kitchen, move those plates over there, put them in the dishwasher? He'll say, as you wish, happy to do it. Instant response, a quick response, no resistance. Because see, what kills estrogen in women is guys will often go, I don't want to do that, or I'll do that later or whatever. But to get that fast response, you get a surge of estrogen and another surge and another surge. And you just get to play with this. When do you get to feel I can do 15 things and have her smile every time? And it's only 20 minutes. Now it's very important. Another thing is very physical. You can have him massage your feet, for example, or massage anywhere. But you say, honey, I'd like you to massage my feet. I want you to run and go get my lavender oil. It's upstairs. It's like he runs and gets it. You have to tell him, run. And he will run with a smile on his face. And then he'll do what you want. And this is just 20 minutes. And the only way it doesn't work is in the first 5 minutes or so, maybe you're feeling a little grumpy or irritable, just fake it. It's okay to fake it. Just pretend. It doesn't matter. The subconscious mind goes, I asked and I got right away. That will raise her estrogen and raise his testosterone. But the one thing that can sabotage it is you might say to him, oh, honey, I'd like you to put the dishes in the dishwasher. He says, as you wish. And then as she's doing it, she says, see how nice that is? I'd like you to do that all the time. That's outside the 20 minutes. Nothing about outside the 20 minutes. It's down. That ruins the game, kills the game. It's in the now. Everybody's talking about being in present time. There's nothing more powerful than being in present time for a woman to go to her estrogen side, to anticipate getting what I want, asking for it, knowing your partner is going to have a big smile and just go as you wish. And for some of you who've seen a little bit inspired by the movie, The Princess Bride. Have you seen Princess Bride?
Yes, yes.
That's how she falls in love with him. He always says, as you wish, as you wish. Always a positive, optimistic response. It is heaven for a woman. She can come back to those feelings of being in love. And being in love is actually biological. A woman's estrogen levels have to double from her normal level of happiness. And this can generate it. And so she can feel that doubles his testosterone because you've got this woman who's appreciating you so much. So it's a fun game to play.
It is. And the only thing that Karen ever asks for is a foot massage. And so I know it's going to come when I say, okay, let's play the game. I don't even have to wonder. I go over, I get the hand cream, I get the essential oil that she likes. And by the way, I like that fragrance as well. And so I enjoy doing it, but I also enjoy massaging her, and we chat, and we can't argue because I'm massaging her feet. Like, you don't argue with somebody you're massaging their feet, for gosh sakes. And so we have wonderful conversations. It often goes past the 20 minutes without my even realizing it. But before, I wouldn't do it. I'd say 20 minutes, how about 5? But when you told me I have to be a concierge, I have to be like a waiter in an elegant restaurant saying, yes, I'll do that for you. Yes, I'll be right back with that. Yes, if you want salt, I'll get it for you. Yes.
And what else could I do? What else could I do for you?
I haven't done that. I'll add that. What else can I do? And I love your rule that it can't be outside the 20 minutes. Like, she can't say, now, will you remember to put the toilet seat down every time from now on? Yeah, right. It can't be that.
Yeah, right.
But you know what I found really funny? I was cracking up laughing, and please do it in a way that'll make me crack up again. You told me that when you teach this to a couple, the man always complains and says, when do I get my turn? So, it's so crazy. Men are sometimes so crazy. Please talk about that.
And it's not just men that will say that. Sometimes women say, well, when does he get his turn? I go, this is his turn. He gets to be successful. That's what every man wants, is to be like hero, successful, feel like I make a difference. And then she gets to feel like, oh, I get to receive. Because ultimately, something that's people don't realize is when you're successful giving, that stimulates male hormones. It's when you're successful receiving, that's receptivity, that's feminine energy, that's estrogen. So this is focusing on creating that balance of hormones that will lower our stress levels and allow our hearts to be open. It's an amazing discovery. I never thought of doing this until this COVID thing. And then I realized, got to do something to get that juice back.
So I want to talk about mastery of greatness. I have always held mastery of greatness as a physical event in a physical hotel room with gals at the back and with airplanes that fly around and hotel bedrooms. And now I'm doing it virtually. And what's amazing is so many more people are attending because it's virtual. And though I've been doing it for a long time, this is going to be the biggest I've ever done. I'm so excited. And you have an important job because everybody else is going to be talking about making money, pivoting, being creative, figuring out how to take your business online. Brian Tracy is the genius of the psychology of success. Laurel Langmeyer is called the millionaire maker, and she's going to be teaching you how to be creative during these times. I've got the number one expert in online in North America and the number one expert in online in Europe, both attending because you've got to take your business online. I've got a world record holder, an Olympic gold medalist teaching us about mindset, and they're all on one side of the table. And you're the only one on the other side of the table. You're going to be teaching us the softer skills of staying in love and having a wonderful relationship, because if you don't have a good relationship at home, oh God, nothing counts. Nothing counts.
That's
And
right.
you know my sweet darling Karen. I
You
gave
are
a
the luckiest man other than me. You've got such a beautiful relationship.
We are both so lucky.
Oh, you're a lucky guy. Lucky
I
guy.
taught a course last weekend on how to write a book, and Karen attended the course. And the degree to which I felt cherished and admired and looked up to, because my wife wanted to take my course and acknowledged me during the course. And I was on top of the moon. 1,000 people can say you're wonderful, but when my wife says I'm wonderful,
It's
oh my
everything.
God,
Oh,
it, and
it's,
if you're having relationship problems, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you. And it's not like my life is perfect. I've had I had two training wheel marriages. And then I met John Gray, and I have a wonderful marriage. So you need to meet him. We're just playing around now, and we're just introducing the masteryofgreatness.com. But register for it. It should be $997. It's no charge right now. There's a short window of time. It's this weekend, September 25, 6, 7. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When you go to register, if there's kind of a normal white background and it asks you for your name and your email address, you're in, no charge. But if it's red and it says sorry, it means we've hit the limit, because there's only a certain number of people, I think it's 2,000, that technologically we're allowed to broadcast to. So go there as quickly as you can before the red shows up. So back to John after
well,
that.
I want to get a free pass too. I'm looking forward to this. This is like amazing. You know, you are such an amazing guy. Of all my friends, I just love talking with you, and you're just so absorbent of knowledge to help the people that you care about, the people of the world. And I'm honored to do this with you so much. It's going to be exciting mastery weekend. And this is a time, what I feel this is like a really important time. I've had tremendous leaps in my ability to make money, and my ability to feel successful, and my ability to make love, and my ability to feel connected, open my heart, greater wisdom. It's a reset. And this is because, if you see, these are like put up there. I just put them up today. My 28 books that I've written. You know, this has been my life's journey. This is why we relate so much. You teach me how to write books. I've written one every year. We're the same link, but it's only because this insatiable quest for information and to help our lives and help other people's lives. And I want to mention why we have such good relationships is that generosity of spirit, because we have so much to give. You know, if you suddenly have a lot of money, it's easy to be generous. If you have a lot of knowledge, you just want to give it away, you want to be of service to people. And you are just like one of the most amazing guys to do that for people, to help them make their dreams come true, express their purpose and mission in life. And it takes all these different teachers and different information to handle sort of different parts of who we are. But above all of that, I want people to know that when people ask me during this quarantine time, what is the most important things besides love and relationship skills? It's education. When you're learning something new, has to be something new. You're learning something new. It stimulates blood flow to the front part of your brain, and stops blood flow to the back part of the brain, which is where we have our conditioned response, reactive brain. So this is going to be a big stress reducer. Make a commitment to do it. This will be change your lifetime. So this is a reset. This is a time to shift gears. Everything's slowing down. Everything's different. Well, there's a crisis, and every crisis is danger, but opportunity. And we want to turn it into opportunity. And I can't think of a better person to do it with than you and some of these other amazing guys. Brian is amazing. Laura is amazing. So this will be an incredible experience, as well as I can't wait to learn more about online business, because it seems like that's where we're going.
Well, let me give you an example. I was coaching one of my clients. He's a chiropractor, and he was moaning, I can't make any money. I just bought a second clinic, and now I've got these 2 rents, and I've got no revenue. I can go bankrupt. I don't know what to do. And I said, oh, for gosh sake, stop being so negative and let's start turning your life around. You don't understand. I am a chiropractor and we have a self-governing body. We're not allowed to make money unless we have a patient lying on the table and we're adjusting their spine. I said, stop it. Stop proving that you have to go bankrupt and open your mind. And he finally said, well, I'll pretend I'm opening my mind, but we have rules. I said, okay, so how about this one? Why do people come to you? Because they bend badly and they lift badly. He says, correct. I said, so make a video on bending and make a video on lifting. You need a tripod and an iPhone, and you press the video button and stand in front of a blank wall and make a darn video. And he says, what'll I do with it? I said, well, your assistant is sitting around doing nothing right now. You're sitting around doing nothing but moping. Why don't you just send an email to all of your clients and all patients and also phone them? And I said, how much is the maximum you can earn in a day? He says, well, I charge $40 for an adjustment. I can only do a certain number in a day, blah, blah, blah. He says a few $100s. Since he's taken my advice and he sells his videos at $30 each or 2 for $49, he's made roughly double each day what he ever earned as a chiropractor. And he's still obeying the law of the self-governing body. And so this is the time for a reset. This is the time to do things differently. And then he said, hey, when the lockdown is over, I can still sell these. I know. He said, I could have been selling this for the last 20 years and made more money. I could have had them on display on my counter. I know. And you also don't have to just do 2 videos. There's other things you could make videos about. And so his mind is expanded, but he never had to be creative because he was making enough money as a chiropractor. This is a reset time. This is a time where you're forced to think outside the box. You're forced to bring in online components to your business, because otherwise, like John, the most loved company in the whole world is Disney. And Disney year over year is down 91%. 91% for the most loved company in the world. That's like a guy who earns $100,000 a year, which is kind of nice, dropping to 9,000. And Hertz has gone under, and J.C. Penney has gone under, and Virgin Atlantic went under. Yet other companies are skyrocketing. Amazon, for example, is skyrocketing because everybody is ordering online. It took Jeff Bezos 60 years to be worth $70 billion, and he earned another $70 billion in the last 3 months. $70 billion in 3 months. This is such vast change. Let me give you an ocean analogy. It's like if you're in the ocean and a giant wave comes, like a giant wave called the lockdown comes, you're either in the wrong position and you're drowned by it, or you somehow shift around and get up on the crest and you start flying, and you can have a great view and your wind is whistling in your hair, or you can be drowned by it. But you cannot be complacent. You cannot think life will just come back. John has called it a reset, and it's a gigantic reset. It's like a reset button this gigantic. And if you're not pressing it, if you're waiting to go back to normal, excuse me, there ain't no normal that people are going to go back to.
Raymond, let me also address what you've just talked about, because you gave 2 examples. And a lot of people might not be chiropractors, might not be able to do this. And people might be thinking, oh, but that's not going to work for me. That's because you're thinking that's not going to work for me. There's a place where when you hear other people, how they have adapted, how they've adjusted, it awakens the part of your brain that understands your dynamics and how you can make an adaptation. I want to share another story that happened with me. One of my businesses is we rent cars to Uber drivers. Okay, so now Uber went way down and everybody's like, nobody's driving. But what we did is we started another company, which was delivery service for Amazon and for Walmart and various people. So we have a delivery service. And so we sent out to all of our drivers who rent our cars to be Uber drivers. Now you can actually make more money making deliveries for Amazon and these other people. And that company is like off the chart, thriving. And the other company has come back up again, making more money than it ever did, even in an active market when people were out there getting their Uber drivers.
Really? You own a company where you rent out cars to Uber drivers? I didn't know that.
Yes, rideshare rental. I don't do the day-to-day work, you know. But then we also have a delivery system where we've got contracts with Amazon. You see, they're all looking for overnight delivery. Everybody's immediate gratification. So they need drivers. And so we have drivers who would be Uber drivers renting our cars. So we say, now you can rent a car and become a driver for Amazon and you make more money.
Wow.
That's creativity.
You just load up your back seat with parcels instead of people.
Now, I have to say that I originally started the company because I wanted to have every Uber driver have a Minute from Mars book in the car. And then it evolved into something else. But I thought if every hotel could have a Bible, why not every Uber car could have, at least the ones we rent cars to, a Minute from Mars?
I love it. I love your idea. Wow. Now, I heard that there was some kind of award ceremony in the year 1999, and they acknowledged who was the #1 author of the century.
Yeah, it was that last quarter.
In that?
They did last quarter of the century.
Oh, okay.
USA to last listed me as the one of the top 10 most influential books. Jack Canfield was up #5. I was #6. That was very fun. We're kind of a competitive friends.
Right.
At the end of 2000, and the end of the decade, I was the #1 biggest author of the decade, and Jack was #2. So I always tell him that. But there was a big ceremony. They tried to create kind of an Academy Award for authors, but it didn't really go over. But they had the whole thing on me for my Lifetime Achievement Award, the last best author of the last quarter century, influential. So that was very flattering. But, you know, Lifetime Achievement, I was sitting there next to Wayne Dyer, who's way beyond my age at the time. And he was a little pissed off that I got it and he didn't.
Wow.
I'm sure he eventually got it. You know, he's a great man as well, making a big difference. Dedicated to service. You know, as we get older, that's really our fulfillment. You know, part of our fulfillment is to achieve, to accomplish, to develop our ability to be able to give back. And then you have that ability. What a great life it can be. And a lot of men, unfortunately, they don't find that, often because it's their relationship didn't give it to them. They didn't have the right skills. And so they want to quit work instead of resetting and finding a job that still requires them to get up in the morning and do something. And it doesn't have to be every day either. You know, I'm on a 4-day week now. That's nice as I got older and I started a little later. But I still have to get up and do my work. If I didn't, and I don't have to financially, but I have to for mental mindset. I need to feel that I have to do it. I say I'm going to do it, then I have to do it. That gets testosterone going. It's the opposite for women. It's for women, the more they feel they have to do something, the more pressure they feel, the less female hormones they have, the greater stress. So they need to balance that I have to with I get to, I love to, I enjoy doing. Because that's the female hormones. And ultimately, as we get older, we want to have both. You know, we get to do that. We love our work. So we get to enjoy our lives. And of course, you have the most amazing wife, second to mine, in the whole world. You're a lucky man. And, you know, we say it's lucky, but actually we attract situations according to what's inside of us. It's really a reflection of who you are. When I see a smile on her face, I think, what a man you are.
Thank you. You've told us a couple private things about you. I don't know if you know that I graduated as a physicist and that I have been rated as a genius in mathematics. So, and I'm 76 years old now. When I was 65, all of my physics and mathematics friends retired from being physics and mathematics professors at university. And all of a sudden I was working and they weren't. And so I asked my coach, am I just a workaholic? Like, why don't I retire? I've got all the money I need. And what he said was, what is the definition of retire? I said, oh, for gosh sakes, everyone knows the definition. He says, look it up. So I looked it up. Retire means to take out of useful service. Ah! And that's what you're talking about. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you sit around watching Netflix all day for 7 days a week, what a wasted life.
And I'll add to that, if you're watching the news all day long, it's a bigger waste of life.
Please don't watch the news. Oh my God. The news, especially American news, is so conflicted. It's so terrible these days. It
is.
From the Canadian point of view, I look at it, I'm just befuddled. Like in the middle of March, when the government had to decide what essential services are, the government of the United States decided that gun shops were an essential service. What? The Canadians look at that and say, are you crazy? I mean, even Canadians decided that liquor stores are essential services. That's even crazier. But as divisive and as strange and as weird as the things that are happening in the United States, that's how much you have to be careful to not let all that stuff in, and to like, if you're watching the news and you hear all this horrible stuff about cops killing people and shooting them in the back, how can you make love after that? It's got to seep in. One of my coaches, Dr. Nido Cobain, says garbage in, garbage out is not correct. Garbage in, garbage stays and has babies. So when you hear horrible ideas, horrible news, horrible ways that people are mistreating other people, it makes you feel horrible and makes you think other horrible thoughts that aren't in the news. Don't you want to keep up, Raymond? Not with that, I don't.
We have so much knowledge today about brain plasticity, and we also have knowledge about brain chemicals. And whenever you're confronted with danger, it feels good. Actually, it produces dopamine, and it's addictive. So when you're watching the news, because it's new and different, that stimulates dopamine. Because it's new and different and has to do with death and danger, that stimulates dopamine. So what happens is you're taking cocaine levels of dopamine. Wow. That desensitizes the brain to normal stimulation. So your partner in your life becomes more boring, which causes you to seek out the high stimulation of dopamine. Any drug addiction, listening to the news is addictive and it feels good, even though you're looking at danger. It's also like we like action movies and people beat up on each other and people shoot each other. See, anything that produces danger while you are theoretically safe, okay, so you're actually not getting beaten up and having to react. You're passive and you're experiencing this danger. Your brain produces excessively high dopamine levels, just enough to feel better than anything else. So you want to sit there and you keep watching. But the problem with that, not only are you just continuing to waste your time, it desensitizes the brain to normal stimulation. So you suddenly don't find your partner as engaging. You gave this beautiful example of giving her a foot massage and having a nice conversation, as opposed to feeling bored, I got to give somebody a foot massage or whatever. No, you're able to enjoy the moment, what normal stimulation is, without having to have the high dopamine stimulation of the news. That's the new and different and dangerous news. And John, also, if you live in America, we have MSNBC and we have Fox News, and they both tell half the truth. Maybe even they both tell a third of the truth. In some other place, you get the other part of it. But whenever you see a partial truth, it raises stress levels as well. That's why, as a coach and a therapist, when I help people work with their stress levels, we look at what happened. We look at what didn't happen that you hoped would happen. we look at what you're afraid that could happen, and we look at what you regret that you wish you had done, that you're now learning from that, and now what you want to happen. Well, see, that's looking at something from many points of view. And what we know as therapists, at least who understands this, that causes what's called a gestalt, where you see the whole picture. When the brain can see the whole thing and it's negative, the brain will let it go. But if the brain only sees half the negative, a part of the negative, it keeps looking for where's the other side of it? Where's the other side of it? Once again, that's education, where you're getting the complete truth, and you're not being a bias of one side wants this person to be elected, another side wants that person to be elected. And when you know the whole picture, you go, they're omitting this, the other station pointed that out, and they're omitted this. You know, we've all guilty of this. You know, there's times when we want to tell our victim story, like this bad thing happened to me. We always point out what happened to us, but we don't actually point out what we did to contribute to the problem. Just leave out a few details. It's a bit more dramatic, and that produces dopamine.
I have a I want to ask you a question, because you were talking about the excitement of the news making your partner less attractive or less exciting, because you need all that anger and killing to excite you. And then your sweet wife who's just sitting there isn't that exciting any longer. So is it the same as sugar? If you drink a lot of Coke and you have a lot of sugar, then you can no longer taste a tomato.
That's right. Broccoli doesn't taste good to you.
No. So is it the same thing, like metaphorically?
Yeah, exactly the same thing. Go for 2 days without eating and eat some vegetables, and they taste fantastic.
Yes.
I eat the tomato right off the tree, and this is fantastic, because I'm not hyperstimulated with so much sugar, bread. A little bit is okay. What that does is, think about stimulation as like a bright sunlight. If you go out and the sun is bright and you look in that direction, your pupils will constrict. And then you go into normal light and you can't see anything for a little while until your pupils open up again.
That's a brilliant example. That's another example. Yes.
And so it's the same thing as you get the high stimulation, the dopamine receptors in the brain, they close up like little flowers. They close down, and it takes a while for them to open up, where normal things fill them up with a feeling of pleasure. But before they open up, we go, I'm feeling bored, so I need more of that high stimulation, which closes more flowers. And then we feel like, I need more, and I need more, and I need more. And even that eventually becomes kind of boring, because your brain remembers that it made me so happy, and then it's all kind of boring. But the first thing it takes away is the normal pleasure we get from human interaction. Just looking at someone, being present with them, having a conversation, which we used to have in the beginning, often because our partners were new and different. Right. But then we go to the high stimulation. So one way to really easily remember this, cocaine is a major dopamine stimulator, a super high level. And for people who've done it, I've never done it, but they say intensity and pleasure like crazy. But we know scientifically, even one use of cocaine, 30% of your dopamine receptors will close down. Practically speaking, that means your ability to experience normal happiness has been depleted by 30%. And that's why people who stop cocaine feel so depressed, because they need that high stimulation to feel good. Hard to go off of the cocaine, because as soon as you go off, you don't have that high stimulation. Those little flowers stay closed until they eventually open up. And what opens them up is, in a sense, withdrawal. You go through withdrawal of doing normal interactions, and then you'll be a little bored, but you keep at it. And love is the key. So you play genie in a bottle, you get this immediate gratification from doing something little. Not from, I just won the lottery, I just made $1 million, honey, we just bought a new house. See, that's a big dopamine stimulator. But to do consistently little things, but also get a smile out of it, it's a normal level of dopamine that you get, and you're feeding yourself a normal level, and it starts to build up. And you can see that in terms of our healthy hormone production as a result.
Can you? No? I'm talking to John Gray. Don't you want to say hello to him?
Oh, your lovely wife.
No, he's got me like.
No, I want to turn the light on.
I want the light. Let the light shine on that bright face.
Never. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at you.
Just the top of my head. I'll do this. Look, how are you?
I just want you to say hello to our
Yeah,
friend.
it just happens to be live. That's the only problem. Okay.
She is an angel. I think about your wife. I always light up. You're a lucky man. For 95 years old, you look so young.
So, my dear viewers, you can see why I love John Gray so much. He's a sweet, gentle, cuddly guy, but on the other hand, he's so wise. He's studied all these so much. He understands the chemistry of the brain, the chemistry of love. And so he's got both sides. He's got the left brain wisdom and he's got the right brain heart. He's just the full package. And I'm so honored that you're going to be one of the big name presenters. You were in the movie The Secret, 28 books. Laurel Langmeyer, who was in the movie The Secret and is known as the Millionaire Maker. Brian Tracy, who's got who knows how many books, and he's a genius in the psychology of success. Also, because going online is so important these days, I've got the #1 online marketer from North America and the #1 online marketer from Europe, and they're both going to be there. And also an Olympic gold medalist, Mark McCoy, and he's going to be his talk is so inspirational. He's going to talk to you about the mindset of a winner. And you need that now because so many people are mopey dopey around. Oh my God, I'm going to go bankrupt. You need the right mindset. If you are lined up to start a race and you think, oh my God, I'm going to fail, you will. You're not going to cross the finish line first thinking, oh my God, this is terrible. And so I'm going to be teaching about branding and all the other ideas that I've come up with. And all that is available. It should be $997. But because of this crazy lockdown, we're giving the whole thing away for free. There's no charge whatsoever. Masteryofgreatness.com. When you go there, if you see a screen inviting you to leave your name and email address, please do that. If it's red and it says sorry, that means we've hit the technological limit of about, I think it's 2,000 people. We're not allowed to broadcast to more than that. But not only do you get Brian Tracy and John Gray and Laurel Langmeyer, and not only do you get me and 2 brilliant internet marketers and an Olympic gold medal, but wait till you see this. My dear friend Les Brown, probably the greatest speaker on earth, has created something specially for you and sent it to me to give to you. The greatest wealth teacher in the whole world, Robert Kiyosaki, a dear friend, has made something just for you and he sent it to me and I'm going to give it to you. Jack Canfield, a dear friend of John's and mine, he has created something just for you. And Bob Proctor, who's my neighbor, by the way, and who is the undisputed grandfather of the entire personal growth industry, they've all sent me something to give to you as a gift when you register at no charge and then show up on September 25, 6, 7. When you show up, we'll automatically send you a gift from Les Brown, a gift from Robert Kiyosaki, a gift from Jack Canfield, and a gift from Bob Proctor. So you'll actually be learning from all of them, but you'll also be directly learning from Brian Tracy, John Gray, Laurel Langmeyer, and me, and 2 geniuses on internet marketing and an Olympic gold medalist on mindset for free. This is going to be the best weekend of your life. I'm so excited. I'm just so honored to be doing this. I am so privileged to have as friends some of the most famous people in the entire world, like John, who I really love. And I don't know, maybe this is a little bit of low self-esteem from my youth, but I always say, me? They really like me? But I think a lot of people have that feeling. And I'm so honored that I do have such wonderful friends and that I can use their friendship to encourage them to come and play with me and come together and deliver this explosion of wisdom to you. It's going to be a wonderful event. Register. And John, do you want to say a final word?
I just want to say that what you get from all these amazing people is through resonance, you get motivation and inspiration. But beyond that, you get also practical skills to put it into action. there's stories where people tell their story. There's an inspiration there, and we always feel inspired, and we need that in our lives. Not all this negative press that we're seeing so far. We need to see positive transformation. Our soul needs it, but to put it into practice, that's the real power, is to have the practical tools. And that's what these people are going to give. I'm looking forward to learning more about this, all these things you just mentioned as well. I'm also looking for another hit of inspiration, listening to an Olympic gold medalist, because I know what it takes. And when you're around other people that have done it, you resonate with that even more, and it brings out the best in us. So this is an amazing mastery of greatness. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm happy to be involved.
And the final word that I want to leave is a quotation that I love. A candle is not diminished by lighting another candle. And John is a powerful light, a powerful candle. And he just wants to light your candle. And so do I. And so do all the other masters that I'm bringing to you. Because not only does it not diminish us, it lights our fire even stronger. If John said, okay, I've got all the money I need, I'm just going to sit and watch Netflix,
I'd be depressed and suicidal.
It'd be horrible. I couldn't live with myself if I couldn't teach. Like, why would I go on living? That's a horrible thought. So I'll change it. But I have brought together people whose light is shining very brightly, and they want to light your candle, and they have nothing to ask. They're just giving their time because they like me, because they want to help me, and they want to please me, and they want to please you. And we're all just enjoying life so darn much. And we want, and you're going to be part of it. Masteryofgreatness.com. Thank you, John. Whenever we're allowed to actually be together, you got to save a spot high up on your hug card for me.
Always. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Okay, bye-bye. Masteryofgreatness.com. See you this Friday. Bye-bye.